Welcome back to Elements in Focus. And today we're going to discuss putting together your tax plan for year end. Now, what's fascinating, and this is Aaron and I's favorite topic, taxes, as you probably can tell for those that have watched the show for a long time. But Aaron, thank you again for being with us as always. Aaron, for those who don't know, is our Director of Financial Planning. And today, as we walk through putting your tax plan together for year end, we want to walk through a couple resources that a good team is going to help provide you as you engage in this process. Now, some of us, and not to pick on anybody, but some of us are just now getting, or will be soon getting, our tax return back in October because of that delayed filing, and that's okay. There are things that come up, and we understand. But now we're going to have to switch gears very quickly to talking about year-end tax planning and how to start preparing for that, what to put together. So for those of you that do not work with Financial Enhancement Group, you'll be missing out on a beautiful packet. We call this our tax packet. As you can see, this is the one we had for last year. It will go through a lot of topics that we're going to talk about here today on how to prepare for your tax plan so that when you report it starting in April next year, you've done everything you possibly can to play the best game of chess you could with the IRS. So without further ado, Aaron, when we're looking at our tax plan and we're putting together what we need for year end, what are some critical key items we want to make sure we discuss with our team, whoever's advising us, and what are some things that often get overlooked that we don't want to overlook?
Great question. And let's first define what tax planning is versus tax reporting. So taking the step back and actually looking at reporting versus planning, tax planning is proactive steps that you take prior to the end of the year. And we'll discuss some of those here in just a minute. Tax reporting is what you report to the IRS prior to April 15th or whatever the tax deadline is of the following year. So tax planning, proactive strategies, tax reporting, reporting to the IRS the strategies that you employed the prior year. So what are some of those things? Things that you should be thinking about prior to year end. Are you making any sort of charitable contributions that need to be done prior to year end? Are you taking the standard deduction versus itemization and looking at where those deductions stack up versus the itemizations? You can itemize a few things, charitable gifts being one of those, mortgage interest, and SALT tax. SALT is state and local tax. You can itemize up to $10,000 cap on that. And then charitable gifts and your mortgage interest, as long as all of those add up to more than your standard deduction, then you would take the itemizations. Now on the gifting side, how are you going to gift? Are you going to do it through a qualified charitable donation, a QCD, or a qualified charitable distribution? Or are you going to potentially use maybe some appreciated assets that you have? So maybe you have a Lilly stock that has a large gain in it and you want to donate to a charity. You can do that through appreciated asset donation. The other things to pay attention to prior to the end of the year is where is our income at for the year? Are we making any sort of contributions to Roth IRAs or IRAs? Are we looking at doing IRA to Roth IRA conversions? Just a reminder, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act will sunset at the end of 2025. So next year, January of 26, tax rates are set to go back up. So your 12% bracket will go to 15, the 22 will go to 25, all the way up to 39.6%, unless you can get a wonderful congregation of 60 senators to vote to keep the current tax plan that we have in place. I don't know if you can get them to agree the sky's blue is what we like to say. So likely our Tax Cuts and Jobs Act will sunset. Other things to look at if you're a business owner, what sort of write-offs are you going to take prior to year end? As Grant mentioned, we will send out very soon, likely around the early parts of October, our tax plan with 7 to 12 things to think about prior to year end. Grant, I covered a lot in a short amount of time, probably missed a couple things, so I will bounce it back to you. 529 plan contributions, if you're thinking about any sort of college funding in the state of Indiana, you can get a $7,500 contribution, gives you a 20% state tax credit. So that's $1,500 against any state taxes owed. As a reminder there, let's say you owe $1,000 in state tax and you make a $7,500 contribution, they're only going to deduct $1,000. They're not going to give you a $500 credit back. So encourage you to come in for your annual tax planning meeting. If you're not working with an advisor that does tax planning, they don't understand your full picture. Grant, back to you.
Absolutely. No, well said, Aaron, because for those of you who are trying to scroll down notes as fast as humanly possible, don't worry. If you need a list of what Aaron talked about, please reach out to us at yourlifeafterwork.com, and we will get you a tax packet so that way you can have a good, detailed list of what Aaron went through quickly. And again, Aaron and I would love to go through each page along with this with all of you. But again, it's not how the YouTubes work, right? Or the internet works. We got to spark as much interest as we can in a short amount of time. But we do have resources, don't doubt that. So, Aaron, I could add more in here, but my friend, here's what I would say. If you guys are looking for more information, please reach out to us at yourlifeafterwork.com. We'd love to get you materials to help you prepare, putting stuff together for year end. But thank you for being with us, for those of you that are, and we look forward to seeing you at the next one. Have a great day. If in our conversation today, something was sparked deep inside you and you feel like you want to evaluate your current financial journey, please click the link here. We'd love to schedule a complimentary meeting to sit down with you and navigate the potholes that may potentially be lurking around the corner in your financial situation. One of our talented team members will help you figure out where you are, figure out where you want to be, and then give you key critical things that you can think about today and tomorrow to make sure your financial journey remains intact.